Breaking news out of Washington, D.C. Two members of the West Virginia National Guard were shot in what authorities are calling a targeted ambush just blocks from the White House. One of them has died, the other remains critically injured. The suspect is in custody. Today on ATIF News, we dive deep into what happened, who the victims were, who the suspect is, why the incident has shocked the U.S., and most importantly, what this means for national security, immigration, and life in the Capitol. But stay with me to understand the full story, what happened, timeline, and facts. On November 26, 2025, around 2:15 p.m., local time, two National Guard soldiers assigned to downtown Washington patrols were shot near the Farragut West Metro Station, only a few blocks from the White House. Officials immediately described the event as a targeted attack, ambush-style shooting. The suspect was apprehended at the scene after being wounded during a confrontation with other Guard members. The fallen soldier was identified as Sarah Beckstrom, 20, from West Virginia. She succumbed to her wounds the next day. The second injured soldier, Andrew Wolf, 24, is currently in critical condition, fighting for his life, suspect and weapon. The alleged shooter is identified as Ramanullah Lakanwal, a 29-year-old Afghan national. He reportedly used a .357 Magnum revolver in the attack, according to law enforcement. Did the Washington Post? Who is the suspect and what's known so far? Lakanwal entered the United States in 2021 under the resettlement program launched after the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan. Before relocating, he reportedly served in paramilitary units in Afghanistan, including ties to the Central Intelligence Agency, CIA-supported forces. According to investigators, Lakanwal drove across the country before reaching Washington, D.C., then ambushed the guards, suggesting premeditation rather than spontaneous violence. Was shot by other National Guard members at the scene and taken into custody. His injuries are non-life-threatening, but he now faces severe charges. The Wall Street Journal, official reaction, government, security, and immigration fallout. The attack prompted swift reaction from the highest levels. Donald Trump called the incident an act of terror, condemned the shooter, and demanded stricter immigration controls. The government immediately paused all immigration and asylum processing for Afghan nationals pending a thorough review. The Washington Post. Defense officials also announced the deployment of 500 additional National Guard troops to Washington, D.C., and warned that the Capitol's security posture would be tightened significantly. Meanwhile, federal prosecutors are preparing to charge Lakanwal with first-degree murder for Beckstrom's death and attempted murder weapons charges for the attack on Wolf. The Wall Street Journal. Human side, who were the guards, and what the loss means. Sarah Beckstrom, only 20, had recently enlisted in the West Virginia National Guard and was on duty as part of a nationwide deployment to support security in the Capitol. For many Americans, her death just 2 blocks from the White House is a painful reminder of how even uniformed service members are on safe from random violence. Andrew Wolf remains hospitalized and his condition remains critical. His family, fellow guardsmen, and the nation are anxiously waiting for updates. It's a human tragedy, lives cut short, families left in grief, and a city shaken by fear. Why this story matters for us and the world? This was not just a crime. It was a direct attack on state forces protecting the Capitol. It challenges the assumption that uniform and proximity to power White House equals safety. The fact that the suspect was a former ally from Afghan forces turned attacker raises painful questions about trust, interventionist wars, and long-term consequences of foreign engagements. The fallout, legal, political, social, will have ripple effects on immigration policy, refugee programs, national security strategies, and American public opinion. For many around the world watching the U.S., this incident sends a strong message. Terror and tragedy can strike even in the most protected arenas. Conclusion. What we must watch as of now: one young National Guard member is dead, another fights for life, a suspect is in custody. Washington is under high alert. But the full story is still unfolding. Investigations will continue, motives may be revealed, and the legal process will take its course. In the coming days, will we learn why this happened? Will politicians use this for stricter immigration laws or reform? Will the public demand changes in domestic military deployment or refugee vetting? We'll track every development and bring you real, verified, balanced updates. If you want full coverage of global and U.S. news, subscribe to ATF News and hit the bell icon because in a world like this, information matters more than ever.